This is where I love to butt in.
Guess you can't lose it, I can never find.
I also think that great advice gets lost if it's the wrong time.
Dialogue over drama?
Welcome to Dialogue Over Drama, episode 67. I am Dialogue Danny.
I am Courtney Drama.
And so at the end of this episode, we actually get into Courtney talking about all my little bits of memorabilia I constantly do. And one of the things that I wanted to say after thinking about it was, all those little things that you see that I hoard, they're not little things to me, they're memories. Who gave them to me, where I found them, what I was thinking that day. So all of them are just little memories. So
you know what? On that note, actually, just one day, because I made a joke about being like, I'll bury you and then I'll just dump all those things in. Artistic me, and I could see this happening even while you're still alive. You know, it'd be a cool project. You know those resin tables?
I love that you just think you're going to live longer than me.
Yeah, I do. You know those resin tables?
Yep.
You know how cool it would be when you just talked about saying that a lot of the stuff's memories? That if we actually went through it all and you picked out your favorite pieces and then everything was laid and poured in resin and it became an art piece.
That'd be perfect.
That would be
fucking... You could even put it on a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. That'd be great. Okay, let's do that. Awesome. So
problem solved.
Problem solved. So what we get into today
I cleared 3 bins now in the closet.
There you go. We talk about gap filling, like in your life, like different little gaps that you have, like whether you fill them with like friends, you fill them with like hobbies or whatever. And we talk about the implications of that in a relationship, whether you're single. And we are going to go right into a game that Courtney loved from last week, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. We are playing Finish the Line. I don't have a cool... I need to come up with like a little... I don't know. But here we go.
A jingle?
A jingle. There we go. So you want clip 1, 2, or 3 to start off with?
Surprise me.
Okay, we're going to go with 2.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
What's the next line? Well, first of all, what's the movie?
I have no idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't know what the next line is?
No.
Okay. We'll go with the real clip.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel
I don't even know
and tragic.
who this sounds like.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks?
You mean shenanigans?
No.
Is the movie called Shenanigans?
Put those away.
No, it's Super Troopers.
I wouldn't have known that.
Wow. Okay. 0 points so far. Okay, ready? Here we're going to go with clip 1.
I see you roll your way into the semis. Dios mío, man. Liam and me, we're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Let me tell you something, pendejo. You pull any of your crazy shit with us, you flash a piece out on the lanes, I'll take it away from you and stick it up your ass and pull the fucking trigger till it goes click.
Jesus.
You said it, man.
What's the next line?
Whatever, man.
I see you roll. You said it, man. Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
Oh. It's Big Lebowski.
Yep.
But I thought it was the dude going, whatever, man.
Jesus. You said it, man. Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
Okay, only 1 point then.
1 point this week. Okay, you ready? Here's hoping. I don't even know what this is, but hopefully it's something you know.
No. She gets a special cologne. It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries. Yep. It's made with bits of real panther, so you know it's good.
It's quite pungent.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it's a formidable scent. It stings the nostrils. In a good way.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm going to be honest with you. That smells like pure gasoline.
They've done studies, you know.
Okay, well, it's Anchorman.
Yep. What's the next line? They've done studies, you know.
something about women falling in love with you. It's supposed to make women desire.
Okay, you ready?
Something like that.
I'm going to be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well,
Okay, well.
let's go see if we can.
I love that. 60% of the time, it works all the time.
I was in the category, but nowhere near.
No, so you got 2 points.
All right.
2 out of 6. One of these days you'll get all 6. All right, so let's get into the episode. Let's change the channel.
Okay.
Well, I think I just lost my mind. I guess you can't lose it. I can never find.
We're talking about filling gaps today, and not the fun kind of filling gaps.
Oh,
well,
you
kind of
took
is
away
fun.
my punchline. You're so rude. I was like, that's what she said.
I was going for the low-hanging fruit on that one, baby. I'm sorry. And
Fill
speaking
this
of
gap.
filling in gaps, you were just like, did you see the TikTok I made? Look at how cute I look.
Yeah. Me filling a gap of being insecure by posting
Yeah.
painful TikToks.
I'm glad you went that way. Well, what do you think? Okay, so what we're actually talking about is filling gaps, where people have like chunks of time instead of like some people choose to fill them to the excess, so their calendar is just loaded with overlapping stuff, where they have like art, or they have like roller skating, or they have whatever it is that they do, music, and they just fill their time so much to whatever reason, like you just said, like insecurity, right?
Anything to avoid anything. I think when we talk about filling gaps, okay, there's like the pure relatability of it because of my ADHD that I'm like, that's my whole life.
Right.
That's why I have so many projects. That's why I get bored of doing things so easily because my brain's just like, I need dopamine like constantly. I get it, but I think once I got that under control, where I started to actually really notice that like I do things to fill a gap is typically when you're trying to avoid.
Right.
So it's like filling a gap because you're avoiding something, not filling a gap because your body lacks the dopamine that it, you know what I mean? So I don't want to talk about it in that sense.
So let's go through it and kind of bank it. I think there's at least 3 reasons why people have fill gaps. One is in an unhealthy way that they just don't know what relaxing and true happiness is, that they fill it with like fake happiness throughout the thing, like whether that be through respect. We have we'll go affection route, where it's like people choosing to find affection in things like pets or their children, where they should be getting it from a partner.
They're filling an
not
emotional
that.
gap.
Bingo.
Okay, so mental, emotional.
And then the third one, I would say just like addiction. We'll go into addiction. So like that, filling a gap with just an addictive substance being something. Like guys that, like when people quit drinking, they're like, I don't have any friends anymore because all we did was drink. So like filling the gap with an addiction.
Doesn't that come from mental as well?
Sure, but that can it's a separate entity in itself. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what. So like the first one is
I think emotional. I think filling. We'll start with that one.
So okay.
So like filling a gap, like an emotional gap, like you're talking about pets or children or things like that. What about it? I have so many things I can say on it.
Please do.
I know people, and I also just kind of understand, like, I watch a lot of, like, TikToks and videos online, and so I think even with social media, we get such a view into people's lives that it's so easy for me to point out when it's an emotional gap.
Right.
Where it's like, you're clearly not happy in your marriage, like, not, like, again, I'm talking generally here for what I see.
Broad strokes.
Because I could see someone being like, well, no, I just don't record my husband because he doesn't like being recorded. Sure, fine, whatever. But overall, from whatever content or shit you put out in the world, or I know you through mutual friends, where it's like, okay, like you're not happy in your relationship, but then those are the same people that think like a baby will fix it.
Right.
And then they realize that, okay, a baby didn't fix their marriage, so then they just focus on the kids. Well, I want another kid. Or maybe the kids didn't fill that for them, so now I want a pet.
Right.
Okay, well, the dog wasn't good enough, so now I'm going to try a cat. And, like, I think the, like, things that are alive, not monetary, because the alive things, is, I think, so fucking dangerous. Because, like, you're fucking with that animal, or you're fucking with that child, or that other person's feelings. And, like, there's, like... And this kind of, I think, ties back to the whole love language thing that we've talked about before, where it's like everybody wants to like fill fill each other's gap.
Right.
But like, I don't know. I think it's not healthy.
So here's my thought. There's a lot of relationships I know, and I'm just going to use kids as an example, where I watch them while they're in the relationship childless, and then the mother, in most of the cases I have, but it could be either one, really, really, really wants a kid. Mm-hmm. And the other one is like kind of standoffish, being like, what's gonna go on? And then the woman, the person that wanted the child is like almost trash talking the other person, being like, they're so hesitant, they're so this. Fast forward 7 years down the road, and I know so many examples of this, where the person that was being shit on before they had the kid because they weren't fully committed is now the better of the parent and the one person that's pulling his weight in doing this. Mm. And then the person that was like, I really want to have a kid, just wanted to have a kid, not raise a child. Right. And I think there's just a huge thing with that, where it comes to the actual act of doing something like that, where they're trying to fill that gap by, I want to have this because then it fills a gap, but then they just want to have the child but not raise a child. Mm. And I see that all the time. And or even like, how many people do you know, like, oh, my husband bought this dog and he said he was going to walk it, but I end up walking it all the time because he doesn't care. Mm-hmm. That's the gap is being filled by purchasing something, not caring for it.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. And so, I mean, we're still talking about things that are like alive. For sure. But then that ties into even just the emotional void as well with like the whole buying things, which I don't know, maybe that's more mental or emotional, but yeah.
But I think most people that are in that, it's the equivalent of buying something, because it's like something you look forward to and then something you get. But then you don't realize that the living things have more, they need more.
Well, they also have more permanence.
Yeah, permanence is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so like there's so much of that where the gap filling ends up becoming so tragic that I think I think
there's a healthy way though. Like, so, I mean, definitely I think when we're coming from that, like trying to fill like that gap, we're talking about it in a negative sense. I do agree that there's a healthy stance as well. Like you're giving the example of like,
I was going to get into the healthy stance later. Yeah. 100%. Like it's so like I understand the healthy thing. Like I'm talking just about the bad things, but I'm just focusing on that of people just wanting certain things to be able to fill a gap, but then
I think it's the instant gratification.
For sure. And I think part of the reason that they want gaps to fill is because they don't have the ability to care for it. Because like the gaps you're trying to fill by getting a dog to fill like this temporary gap, you could fill such a huge gap in like the love and the affectionate back and forth from actually taking care of that child, taking care of that dog. It can fill that gap, but people are so used to just filling it with instantaneous stuff that it's not long serving. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think that's one of the big things that I struggle with. That I've worked on.
I'm glad that hit a chord because I was talking about you.
Sorry, I needed to break eye contact with you for a minute to think. Yeah. I honestly, sometimes it's so weird when we're doing this podcast where it's like, I really struggle with like obviously paying attention, ADHD and shit, but like audio stuff where it's like I'm focusing on your mouth moving because we're having a conversation, but you're so loud in my ears.
You're so stoned you can't focus on the topic we're talking about right now.
Yes, I can.
Explain.
No, but when I was talking about myself, is that something that I'm aware of and I've tried really hard to work on? Because I think even the conversation that you and I have had over the years about kids, I'm so glad I understood about cats first.
Right.
And I think the reason is because, and I know sometimes you joke, well, you've stopped, but for a while you were like, we should get a third cat, in which we tried and it didn't work and whatever. There is no emotional void that I need to fill with more cats.
Right.
And I mean, for you, I think your hole is gaping for how many cats you would take in if I'd let you.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm good. I'm full for that. But they've been so permanent. They've been so much work. I've thought so much about how the cats have are long term. So like it's actually work, and that I'm not comparing that to kids, but that I think with struggling thinking about whether I have kids, don't have kids, I'm always on the fence about it. I know all of the times that I would say to you without much thought, like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, okay, you'd start to believe it, and I would pivot.
Yeah.
That's because it's not like what I actually wanted to do. Like, you
Right.
know? And so I think if we did just fill that gap for that moment of me thinking like, oh, this is emotionally going to make me feel better, I would have been that parent. I would have been totally, I wanted to have a kid to say I had a kid. I wanted to have a kid so I can post it on social media. I would have had a kid for all the fucking wrong reasons.
100%.
You who've been more like cautious about the concept as a whole, because you're just like, if I'm going to get into something that's so permanent, it needs to be with someone who's also on the same page as me.
Right.
That like if it became that situation, I know for a fact you'd be what you just explained. You'd be the person who picked up the slack, and you'd be like the best parent. You'd step forward 110%. And so I think because like I'm aware of that, that's obviously why we don't have kids right now.
Right.
But yeah, I knew you were talking about me.
I'm glad.
I'm very aware.
Well, I think it's easier for me because like my brain always goes to, when I make decisions, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this decision as, yeah, let's do this, because I know in my brain that I look at it as I would do this on my own completely. Mm-hmm. If like you popped out a kid, we're leaving the hospital, got smoked by an HSR bus, and I now am forced to raise this kid by myself, I would 100% be completely fine because...
Okay, wait a second. I love that that's the example you gave, not the one from the last episode where, I just, plan my leave and then just leave you without any notice.
Yeah,
okay, so but instead I get hit by a bus. Fine, anyways.
I think you're getting hit by the bus in my brain because of the
Right,
last
it's not
episode.
me planning to leave you, it's the fact that I die from a bus, but okay.
What I'm saying is every decision that I make is based in, can I do this on my own?
Yeah.
And like, am I willing to put in all the effort it would take to do it on my own and not rely on anyone else? Because it does two things. One, it's just my trauma and everything that's there. And two, if I am willing to be the person that does everything, then I can't get mad at you because you're not trying to help.
Right.
So every help you get, I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Because that's the way I look at my life, is I'm like, no one's going to help me, so I'm internally grateful for anyone that does help me.
Mm-hmm.
You, like that's why your brain doesn't think that way, because a lot of your life hasn't driven you in that direction.
Right.
Right? Like, you just assume that, of course, someone would help me do this.
Yeah.
Of course, someone would help me do this. Where my brain is like, I am fucked and I'm on my own. No one's going to help me unless I beg, plead. And if they do, I don't even know if they're going to help me after they said they would. Like, that's my brain.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to stay calm, and when I'm like, I'm the one that's relying on it, and any outside help I get is just icing on the fucking cake. Mm-hmm. So that's how I make decisions.
I kind of want to pivot onto a lighter note.
I do too. I want to go into
okay, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to go into something that I didn't think of at the beginning, but when it comes to dating, single people. So you have a single person that obviously has a lot more free time than people that are in relationships, and they fill their time by doing other things. Like, I know when I was single, I spent way more time playing music, way more time getting together and being creative and stuff like that. And I know when my dad was single, for the little bit he was like a mad photographer. Like, his Facebook page was fucking lit. Dude was like uploading like 100 pictures like a fucking day.
Wow.
Like, with his photography. Like, it was fucking insane how much he would. And then when he got in his relationship, obviously all your hobbies minimalize. There's a lot of people I know now in the dating world that are just it's very weird to look out at it and then trying to balance that, because like, I don't want to meet someone and then pull back on the hobbies that I have because I'm myself. Like, fuck them.
Yeah.
But in the same hand, there's that I still don't want them to think, fuck them, that they have to try to wiggle their way into my life. Where I know for a fact that if I'm in this relationship 6 months from now, instead of spending 6 hours practicing, I'm going to spend 3 because I want to go home.
Right.
So I know it's going to be that way, but you need to kind of convince me that it's worth it in a way.
And I think actually you're bringing back a memory from like an early on podcast episode that we did was all about that balance.
Right.
Where we talked about like what just even being in a solid, healthy relationship, especially if that is your goal. Because if it's not, then stop trying to fill a void of having a relationship because you think you have to.
Right. Exactly.
If you want to fill whatever void or whatever's going on with all your hobbies because you don't want to cut back from 6 hours to 4 hours or whatever, or give up any of that extra time to a relationship, then just own that that's not what you want. But if that is what you want, we've always talked about, like, then there has to be balance.
Oh,
where it's
absolutely.
like, you and I even when we talk about like a future with a child or like just us day to day or one person being super busy at work and one person not or whatever, like we always tend to just like fill each other's void, like just pick up the pieces where we need to. I think what's been interesting though in a relationship is when there is, pivoting from emotional now to mental, when you're going through stuff and you're in like a bad mental state, I'll say. It's so easy when you're like observant in a relationship to pick up on when your partner is like clearly filling a void.
Right.
With something that you want to be like, hey, I think you need to stop.
Right.
And for you, sir, that's been video games. When you are like not like mentally, no, it's just interesting that I've observed that. We're talking about filling voids.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like your brain is going a mile a minute and you're just like trying to think about everything going on in life, that like the void you fill is like, well, I'll just zone it with video games for
100%.
like, and I'll waste a fucking day.
Yep, absolutely.
So like it's again, we're talking about like the not healthy side of it versus healthy, whatever. But in relationships, like
the video game thing for me is right now, it is the one thing with everything that's going on, because I'm just kind of in a whirling ball right now. Mm-hmm. It's the one thing that fills a need for me, and it's gotten to the point where I know it's unhealthy, but it's also one of the things where I'm like, okay, it at least shuts up all of the chaos for a couple minutes, and then when I come out of it, I'm way more clear on what I'm thinking, and I'm way more calm on what I'm thinking. So like it's serving a really great purpose, but like I sound like the kind of guy that's trying to justify myself.
No,
like,
but I think, but that's it though, is like as a partner, like I'm recognizing that you're going through like a moment in life, so like that's your escape, and I get that. I think this is where again I go back into my timelines, but I'm like, within reason, you got to get to a point where you're like, okay, dude, it's been like 6 months or like it's been a year, and like you're still just filling your mental void with video games or whatever it is.
Like, with that, like I've been from the get-go, before I even bought a gaming system after not having one for so long, I was like, I know I'm bad. So there's times where like I would just be like, turn it off. Like before I started playing again, like about 2 months ago, I went a good probably 3 months with only playing on maybe weekends at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Like there's like I know when I'm like I'm at the point right now where I'm on the decrease of I'm going to turn it off for a while and not do this.
Well, I was going to say, like, I even noticed today, which I was like so proud of you for, because you have been in that pit for a bit, that you were like, no, tomorrow I'm going to be productive. Where it's like, okay, you and I've had like the weekend off together, so we're off today and tomorrow. And it was like, I had said to you Friday night, where I was like, no, in the morning, I want to get up, I want to go out super early, and I want to do all this stuff. And so like we did, we had a great morning, we had breakfast and all that. And then when we come home, and I decided today to make butter and cream cheese, but instead of you being like, okay, we're going to record, so I got 4 hours to kill, I'm just going to play video games, you ended up being super productive, planning a game. You said you restrung your guitar, you put your laundry away. And it was like you were aware that you're like, I can't get my brain into the thing that I'm avoiding, and then switch it back into like a reality kind of moment. As
a side pivot, like if I want to stay in a happy, joyous, I want to communicate with you and like continue to talk with you, I know I need to listen to music, not podcasts, and not video game. Because what that does is listening to podcasts, I'm just hearing stories, so my brain switches into figuring out life and trying to process what's going on around me. Whereas if I have music, it's I'm having dopamine constantly in me, and if I'm creating like, you know, the games that I made or like stuff like that, I can stay connected to the real world, which is really shitty for me outside of you. So like it's either, if I'm just going to zone into a different world, it's going to be Red Dead Redemption, like it's going to be West Elizabeth, as opposed to when I'm like, I can't go there today. I need to stay here with Courtney. And it's just how my brain's working. It's just how I'm handling it.
But I think for you and I both, like I'm so aware of that, because when, like, and I do the same thing. Like I've also been in a pit with stress of life, that I'm like, we'll both have like gaming days together. But again, when you do that like day after day after day, week, and then all of a sudden you're just like, I feel so disconnected from this person. Like I need to be like here with you doing stuff.
I like the fact that we talk about it. I like the fact that we go back and forth on like actually talking about like, okay, are you like, even at night, it's like, are you going to game for a bit? I'll game for a little bit. And then we both are like, okay, and then we'll watch a movie together or we'll make food together or like whatever it is. Like we're very vocal and honest. Like you're like, hey, why don't you turn your game off?
And again, the whole point of like, it's okay to like fill a gap with, again, non-permanent things.
Absolutely.
But it's not like we're trying to fill a void with another cat that I can't handle or...
No.
You know, so it's like, I think this is the healthy way of like filling a gap
100%.
while also being aware of it too. Because, I mean, and again, what we talked about like with ADHD or like if you have a mental disorder and then there's like the addiction side of it as well, which we're stemming off of the mental was also the addiction, which I'm going to group in shopping. Equivalent to like drugs.
Absolutely. Shopping, sex, everything like that is definitely in the addiction thing where people are like, okay, I have free time right now. What am I going to fill my time with?
Mm-hmm. And again, when we're talking about on this episode of filling the gap, filling the void, we're kind of coming at it from an unhealthy place. I mean, we just touched on like when it's okay and it's healthy and it's not a permanent thing. And it can be controlled. Because I think it's necessary. We're human. We all want to avoid stuff, so we fill it with something else. With the addiction side of it, like, I could easily be addicted to spending money.
You could?
I could, but I'm not. I mean, like, I am. But, like, I'm not because I'd be, like, bankrupt. But that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about crazy. Yes, okay, stop. Yeah, okay.
Are with your own limitations.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's healthy. So I am filling a void of avoiding stress and things. We talked about video games.
Yep.
Okay, fine. A little bit next extreme, branching off the mental health standpoint is the addiction. So I'm like I love to spend money. I love to shop. And like when we go to my mom's tomorrow, am I picking up like a package? Of course. Like I bought some stuff. But like,
and are you also going to like the thrift market your sister's doing and probably going to buy stuff there too? And
next weekend I'm going to the Toronto Oddities and Curiosity Expo.
There we go.
Trying to find a taxidermied bird, a couple other cool things. But yeah, I love that. And I know that when I get instant gratification, which is like ADHD, spending habit, bad stuff. But I think if I didn't have ADHD, I still would do it because like I love it. I'm aware of it. So like I said, I could be addicted worse than I am now. I'm just addicted with
what's really funny about it is like just in doing this, and do you think that social media portrays a lot of like the addictions that are normally female driven to be as something that's cute and I'm a shopaholic and everything?
Yes, 100%.
But any male driven like addiction like that, whether it's like guys playing golf, guys, you know, like
with 100%, I know what you mean. Like with guys, it's like it's too flashy, you're a dick, like it's too big of an ego. Like I feel like men who flash off like I'm a shopaholic, look at me spend money, it's like a turn off. I think, I mean, for me it is.
Right.
It's like whatever. But yes, there's like this stigma of like
I'm such a minimalist.
Yeah, but with like the girls, it's like cute. It's supposed to be like, yeah, like I just bought this bag, and like it's not. Yes, it's still braggy, but like for me, I don't see it as like a catty thing because I love it. So I'm always like, I follow people where it's like, yeah, I want to see your haul. What did you just buy? Like I need to see what you got because I might want it too. Like I love my favorite video ever. Is on YouTube is all of the like Amazon finds, like all of my like these are all my empties, and like this is what I bought on Amazon this month, and like these are all like
that's insane
because like I'm on Amazon while watching the show.
Do you think I'm a minimalist compared to you?
On a large scale, yes. On a small scale, fuck no.
What do you mean?
Okay, so if we were to put Danny Dialogue in a box, okay, in a room, 4 walls, a room, and a door. Maybe a window. There would be a mini fridge, a couch, a TV, maybe a bed. Depends on how comfortable the couch is because he could sleep there.
Yeah.
And like a coffee table and like, you know, an ashtray. Okay? Cool.
Yeah.
You got like what you need. You're good. You're like, I got my snacks, got my, you know, everything. And that's all that would be in this room.
A water cooler.
Like lots of floor space. Like furniture wise, large scale items, you're a minimalist. You got what you need. But when it comes to like receipts, guitar picks, like stickers, pins, hats,
little things,
little pieces of junk where I'm like, oh, there's a nickel, and you're like, no, don't put that nickel with the change because that's a special nickel. And I'm like, Okay.
So I think what you're describing to me is I'm a crow.
Basically, like, you collect and hoard and are a maximalist to the nines when it comes to, like, garbage. Like, little itty-bitty things that I would throw out without a second thought.
You do throw out a lot of my little bitty
But
things.
when it comes to big items, like I said, if you were in a room, you'd be like, I got my couch, my TV, my mini fridge, and my...
No, you're absolutely right. Because, like, even, like, on the coffin, like, I
We
found
now-
a little plastic
baby.
skull. Like,
And then what's crazy about your little things is your little things eventually overconsume that you don't part with, that they go into a bin. Now, a bin or a basket then becomes eventually a larger item. Like, our front hall closet, I think you are now at 3... like 10 by 5 or 15 by 5 clear bins that were from the dollar store, because we have like a shelf in our closet, and then between the shelf and the ceiling there's like all this wasted space. So I was like, oh, I'll just stack like clear bins up there. And like, it's crafts, it's winter hats, seasonal stuff, outdoor stuff, camping stuff, like laundry stuff, and it's like needed. And then now 3 bins are full of like stickers, gum wrappers, suckers, Hot Wheel cars,
fake cockroaches,
like random, like dinky,
like
shit,
old, like pipes.
Honestly. And like, when you die, and I know you're so bad to be like, oh, I just want to be put in a coffee can, like, fuck me, whatever, just, you know, cremate me. I want to be like, no, I think I actually want to do a burial and then just dump all the little trinket stuff with you and just bury.
Okay, we need to stop killing me. Well,
hey, you killed me with an HSR bus after I popped out a kid, so screw you.
We're Dialogue Over Drama. Thanks for listening. Again, please like and subscribe. Please follow us. Everything.
And you know what? Just in a very healthy manner, you can fill your life and, you know, with some gap. Like, fill your gaps, you know?
Yeah, please, follow us on Instagram and TikTok and everything. Okay, thank you so much. Love you.
Bye.
Dialogue Over Drama is recorded in Stony Creek, Ontario. Original music provided by Allegories and Jesse James and the Medicine Show. This has been a Dialogue Over Drama production.